he said yes. What happens when we think of someone like Rosa Parks? Again, someone that we tend to romanticize, and we forget that she spent time at the Highland Center in Tennessee and was trained in a sense of nonviolent action and democratic education and living life for the people. But having had that experience, she was empowered and claimed in a witness that life could be different for people. That new life was breaking into the world, and she stepped out. Stepped out and wouldn't give up her seat. In that moment, she said yes to life for the people. The list could go on and on as we think of historical figures who have said yes to life. But what about us? What happens with saying yes to life is living into that vocation or career where we're not sure if we're going to make a lot of money. We're not sure if we're going to meet the world's expectations or our parents' expectations. But we step out, knowing that in that moment we are giving life, giving of our very selves into the world. What happens when a child is brought into our lives and into the life of the world? And we step out and say that we will take on this responsibility as parents or grandparents, as a community of faith, to help to raise and nurture this child. That the world will be different and will know life through this one and through the actions that we take. And we say yes. What happens when there is a parent struggling with Alzheimer's or dementia, struggling with medical issues, and we know how hard that can be, and yet we put ourselves out there to say yes to life, to caring for that one and to a world in a witness that all are valued and sacred. What happens when people go to the Mall of America or step out into the street to say that all lives matter, that black lives matter? When we allow ourselves to give birth to what Sherry Seaford is lovingly called Civil Rights 2.0, the idea of stepping out and living into that witness and proclaiming a new way of being, that God might be born among us. There are so many ways that God washes over us in the waters of baptism in how we are called to live in relationship to one another, in relationship to the world, in allowing the Holy to speak and dwell in us, and to take that out into the world. Oftentimes, in uneasy or unsettling circumstances. What does that mean today? Are we willing to stand in that place with Mary to be the God-bearer in our lives today? In ways big and small, in promises made, in hopes that are dreamed, in actions that will change our lives, our family's life, our church life, even our community and world. Are we willing to sit with that and ponder, to wrestle and struggle, and allow for that silent pause? And then with Mary, simply say, yes, here I am. An incredible Advent prayer. May God wash over us and fill us, that we might be pregnant with this hope, living it out in a world in need, giving birth to a promise among the people. May we stand with Mary, bearing God into this world, life for all the people.